by the way, I just spent $500,000 of your money. I call absolute bullshit on that. There's no chance one single partner has got absolute autonomy when it comes to financial decisions. There's no fucking way. We've got a dead set rule in any relationship. One is always the driver.
Your partner's got to get on board.
If you don't get to the starting line as a couple,
They start to have doubt themselves, and that can pretty quickly become a dream crusher. Welcome to Brick to the Future. I'm Al Lewison here with Cam McClellan. G'day, Cam.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Very good, thank you. A couple of good topics to get through today. Looking forward to it.
going to smash one out. I'm pretty passionate about, so yeah, looking forward to it. We're going to open some eyes today.
What's your pet project? What's this one you love to talk about?
All right, so I was talking to the team before, and we can't deal with everyone when it comes to helping people invest in property. So we've got a dead set rule, and this is what we're talking about today. We won't see anyone in here if their partner won't come along to the appointment, and the struggle they have, submitting documents to get finance approvals checked and those sort of things. And the question was asked by one person who was gung-ho wanting to invest, but his partner wouldn't come along to the appointment. We said, sorry, we can't deal with you. And he just couldn't get his head around it. And there's always a driver and a passenger in any relationship. We've got a lot of partners that, male, female, doesn't really matter, but one is always the driver.
Yeah, they don't need to drive it, do they? But they've got to have an understanding of the whys, the wheres, the hows.
Yeah.
Because they can pretty quickly become a dream crusher and probably step in and go, just put disbelief in the mind of the person who's really trying their best to do it.
Correct. And in a couple relationship, as you know, that, so Felicity, my wife, when I want something, I can be nagging at her. She's saying, yep, yeah, we'll do that. But really she's meaning no. She's not going ahead with it. But my insistent pressure on her comes across as husband nagging wife, bugger off, leave me alone, when really I'm trying to get a really good outcome.
Get your outcome.
Yeah, so both of us as a couple have the dreams where we want to get to. So we often talk to, I look at investing, and I explained to someone like this the other day. So you're both on one side of the river. To be successful and to achieve all the dreams you want as a couple, you need to get to the other side of the river. The internal beliefs that people have got, why they don't get to the starting line as a couple. Because if you don't get to the starting line as a couple, you're never going to reach the other side of the river and achieve those goals that you should be setting.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I had a similar conversation only a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine who wanted to meet with one of our guys. And I said, your partner's got to get on board for the journey and come to the meeting. Nah, I can make the financial decisions. It's all good.
Yeah.
I had to explain to him that the problem that happens is that we're very good at explaining the reason our process works and the reason people will be successful following the recipe.
Yeah.
But that person we've explained it to, they've never used the recipe before. So when their partner, wife, boyfriend, whatever it might be, says to them, oh, but what about this, and throws a curly question at them, the wheels fall off because they can't explain the answer. Yeah. And therefore they start to have doubt themselves, and the whole process starts crumbling down.
Yeah, and I, for anyone who says I make the financial decisions in a relationship, I call absolute bullshit on that. It's no fucking way one person makes the financial relationships. When you go out and to buy a $500,000 or $1 million house, what, you're just going to roll out on the weekend, pay for something, sign a contract, come back and tell your partner, oh, by the way, I just spent $500,000 or $1 million of your money without consulting them? Did you go out and buy your home like that?
You what are you up to, honey? Oh, I'll just be back in a minute. Just going to go spend $1 million around the corner at auction.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, there's no chance one single partner has got absolute autonomy when it comes to financial decisions. So, so I'll get down to how do you get your partner, because there's always a driver and a passenger in a relationship. So how do you go about getting your partner to the starting line so you're both equipped with enough understanding? So what you need to do is get to the starting line is, if you're meeting with one of our consultants, how do you both get to the appointment? Even then, and go through that process, which is probably 2 or 3 hours worth of a couple of meetings and submitting documents and those sort of things. And then one partner at the other end of it can be the driver of the investment journey. That's fine, but we won't deal with anyone who haven't got both people on board. And I think these are some of the things that Felicity really struggled with. So I wrote some of the things down that, and you think about objections in your mind, internal beliefs that you need to overcome. Things like, it's hard, it's out of reach, it's only for rich people, it's risky, interest rates going up, I don't know how to do it, I'm too busy, don't have time, it's expensive, I can't hold on to that amount of debt, sounds too good to be true, the market's just peaked, I don't understand it, debt finance scares me, I can't afford it, I'm skeptical of finance, hate dealing with banks, what if the market crashes, debt is the devil, I'll get ripped off, I need to buy where I live. Like, these are just a few that people have going on in their head. No one lays awake at night, and this is where the fear comes in, why usually the passenger won't come along and get to the starting line is because the driver of the relationship who wants to go ahead with the investment doesn't have, like you said before, the knowledge to articulate how to overcome each one of those objections. And women don't want solutions from men. Do you know what I mean? They might be voicing their, like I'm just talking about Felicity
Just
and I.
venting.
Yeah, they're Felicity vents. She wants me to listen, but she doesn't want a solution from me. It's not up to me, to overcome those things. But she'll lay awake in the middle of the night quite often and have those ruminating thoughts. All of these things would be spinning around in her head and not be able to make, articulate which one is really the issue. So that's why it's so important for, if you've got any hope of getting to the other side of the river and achieving your dreams, both people need to come and meet with an expert to overcome. And after that, let someone run along with it. The last thing I just want to nail off for this is external beliefs. Once you've overcome those things and you've got to the starting line as a couple where you're both semi-comfortable, you're never going to be totally comfortable. And even our clients who go through the entire process, often some of these internal fears come up the second time around as well. And it gets less and less, but with second and third, fourth property, the same core beliefs of fears come up, but you have external issues that you need to overcome. And these are things like obtaining finance, which our team do, finding a trusted mentor, which you need to go through, understanding where the market is at each point in time. Usually things that hold them back has their family done it before. So there's lots of external beliefs that needs to be overcome, as well as those internal head spinning things that just don't even let you get to the starting line.
I think the other thing we should touch on is we speak to clients who were exactly that position you talked about. There was a driver and a passenger, and the passenger didn't really want to come to the appointment or get involved in the journey or want to know the recipe.
Yeah.
We talk to that person after their second, third or fourth purchase, and they're like, you know what? This shit's flipped around.
Yeah,
that passenger's
absolutely.
driving.
Absolutely.
When do we get the next one?
Yeah.
How do we do this? Can we put the rents up? How do we get our borrowing capacity up?
Yeah.
So the passenger, once they buy in,
Yeah.
can be driving. So it's vital they get on board together.
Yeah.
And vital they cross the river together, because when you get to the second river, to use your analogy, it's a bit simpler, and the third river even simpler again.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's just what you do. You got a process, you follow it, and away you go.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think the exercise that we go through is to talk about what are these things that are an issue with the passenger, the person holding back, and it's usually things like I'm time poor. I haven't got time. I'm too busy right now with work or family or study. But you need to shift your mindset and go, the reason I need to spend these few hours and do this is so I've got more time to spend with family or study or your lifestyle. I haven't learned enough about investing yet. People lack the confidence investing. If you listen to this podcast, you're starting to build your knowledge about investment. As we said, people going through it a few times often still have those same beliefs. I don't want to fix a toilet at 3 a.m. Well, we use property managers to go through those. The prices just peaked. The market's overheating. I'm waiting for it to fall. I've been hearing this for 20 years. I know your old man's been hearing this for about 50 years.
Chicken Little, the sky's falling.
Chicken Little, the sky's falling. So we look at affordability, supply and demand, and we teach people about the basics of what's happening in the property market so they can make an informed. The big one I think most Australians don't understand is that they think investing is only for rich people. Investing does not impact your lifestyle. To hold an investment property is not like the mortgage you pay on your own home. So holding 2 or 3 investment properties can actually cost you $0 or even $100, $200 out of your back pocket per week. So it's really affordable to hold investments. And that's one of the keys that the rich do use that we try to open everyday Australians' eyes up to. So hopefully this gives a bit of insight on if you've got a partner who won't get to the starting line, you can talk to them, even get them to listen to this podcast, and hopefully that gets people, and you get motivated together as a couple and you can achieve your dreams as a couple.
Spot on. Thanks, Cam.